Okay, today I'm going to do a video on how to make high heel doll shoes. I'm going to give you a list of what you're going to need to get started because it is quite a few things. So first of all, you're going to need some steel, galvanized steel wire. This is 16 gauge. You need for each shoe, you're going to need about 3 to 3.5 inches of steel. You can use the 14 gauge that comes in the big rolls, but it's just a little harder to work with. And you're going to need wire cutters to cut it, and you're going to need pliers to bend it. So that's what you're going to make the shape of your shoe out of. I used aluminum wire here, and it's just not strong enough. So what you're going to need is the galvanized steel, because that will hold your shape and you don't have to worry about your shoe bending out of shape. I think that's the only one. It looks like this with the galvanized steel in it. So steel works the best. Okay, you're going to need, I'm using, for this pair of shoes, I'm using 4 types of glue. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make, I'm just going to make the second part of this. And basically, let me get the right foot for this one. This is the shoe we're going to be making. And let me put it on. It looks like this. So we're just going to make the pair to it. And that's the shoe we're making. So I thinned out the, I made 2 other pair, but I thinned out the bottom base. I think it looks better when it's a little bit thinner. So we're going to make the other one. This is the leg that I took off of that one barn find doll. It's really damaged, so I'm just going to use it as my shoe modeling legs. Okay, so we've got that. So we got the steel, we got the wire cutters. We're going to need super glue, and the super glue is what I use. I just need a dot of the super glue gel to put the heel on. So I just use 1 dot on the heel to hold that to the base of the shoe. So super glue. I need hot glue. I use hot glue to glue the whole shoe together. I'm going to use some of this 527. You can use other glue besides this one. You can use just your regular tacky glue, but I use this because it's fast drying, and I use it in places that I can't use the hot glue in, so I'm going to use that one. And then I'm going to use the regular white tacky glue. Now you're going to use paint and varnish. If you're going to want to paint your heels to match the shoe that you're, I just put my finger in the varnish, to paint the golf tees or whatever you're using for heels. You can use golf tees, which is what I'm using, I'm using the 2 3/4 golf tees, Pride golf tees. They're nice and unfinished. They have a little bit of finish on them, but you can paint right over it. This is the 2 3/4. I got them at Walmart. You get 90 tees for $3. And what I do is I took them out to the sander and I sanded the tees down. I just held them against the sander like this until I got them at an angle that I thought would look good for a pair of shoes. If you angle them differently, that's fine. You might want a sharper angle. You might want them to go in at a different angle. You might want them to go up and down. It's up to you. I just thought this would be a good angle and more realistic on a pair of shoes, but it's up to you. So you're going to have to cut the bottoms off too. If you can't find the golf tees, you can use these, probably did it again, shaker tees. My husband tried making me one of these with the shaker tee before I got the golf pegs. These are shaker pegs. And what they do is, you can get them at the thrift stores. They're the, you know, the ones that you use on doll furniture, doll beds, wooden, you know, just little dowels. So you can cut the top off and make the top of the shoe, and then you can cut the bottom off to get the bottom of the heel. And you can use those if you can't find the golf tees. And you can use them anyway. It might, you know, you might get a different look on your shoe. You might want a denser heel like that. Let's see if I can like with a shoe. So yeah, you could do that, especially if you want it for like a pair of pumps. Okay, so that would work all right. Okay, so that was the tees. You're going to need sandpaper, of course, to smooth everything off, smooth everything out. You're going to need sandpaper, a sander. You're going to need cardboard, and you're going to need cardboard to get the forms for your doll's foot. So we're going to need a couple pieces of cardboard. You can use cookies, you know, pasta, cereal boxes, popcorn boxes, whatever you have. That instead of throwing it away, just cut it up and you can use it for these doll shoes. So as far as the shoes go itself, we're going to need some elastic cord. This is the silver cord. You can get this in gold. It comes in gold. It comes in white. Silver. What else have I seen? You can go to the craft section and the kids section of the store, and you can find this elastic cord in every color of the rainbow. So whatever color you want to make your cord, your strip right here is fine. Just, you know, you don't have to do silver and black. I'm just doing silver and black because I just decided to try silver and black. So elastic cord, and then you're going to need some kind of toe piece. Any kind of ribbon will work. You can use more cording, you can do braiding, you can do ribbon, you can create your own design with fabric. I mean, it's just limitless. You can even do the whole toe piece if you want to cover this whole toe piece. It's just, but for this one, we just need one little strip of ribbon or whatever. Then you're going to need a trim. So I'm using this silver trim to go around the outside. You're going to need trim of some kind to cover your connection point between your sole bottom and your sole top. And so that's what that's for. So as far as the actual fabric on the shoe, I'm using the metallic vinyl from Hobby Lobby. I've got the silver for the top and I've got the shiny black vinyl for the bottom. So, but you can use any kind of fabric. You can use vinyl, you can use vinyl, you can use fabric, you can use upholstery fabric, you can use anything you want. You don't have to use this glitter vinyl, but that's what I'm using. So let's see if we got it all covered. The steel, the wire, the cutters, the glue, the paint, the varnish. I don't think I covered the paint. I painted this to match the, I used 2 coats of black paint, and then I did 2 coats of the folk art glitter, black glitter. I wanted to try and match the bottom of the shoe as good as possible, as close as possible. It's a little darker than the actual vinyl sheet, but I tried to get as close as I could. And then I varnished it. If I wouldn't have varnished it, I probably could have matched it better, but I wanted that protective coating. I just used Delta ceramic varnish, but you can use anything. You can use a polyurethane. You don't even have to finish them off if you don't want to. You can just keep them natural. It's up to you. You can do anything. You can paint them. You can stain them. On that pair of pumps over there, I stained it with. I'll show them to you later. I stained it with oak stain to match the trim on those shoes. So it's up to you. You can do all kinds of stuff. Okay, and then we're going to need this. I didn't talk about this. You need spacing because you want to create your form and make it even all the way around. If you don't make it even, you're going to end up with the cardboard gluing itself together. I didn't use this because I was so uneven on this one. And it was too wide on one side, too uneven. You want it as even as possible so that when you go to put your braid on, that it's going to your trim, that your shoe is going to be as even around as possible. So I'm just going to take this and cut this up in little pieces, and they're called spacers. I'm putting spacers in between so that I have something to space the cardboard pieces apart in the same width, which is the same width as the wire, so that single layer, that thin that thin foam board Works good. Okay, so I think we got everything we need to get started. Okay, so when I come back, we will get started on these shoes now that we know everything we need.